Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate you being here. We're going to be talking about South America for a moment. All right, so in particular, we're talking about two countries that are having a dispute that's been going on for about a month or two now. And we're talking about the country here that you see on your screen is called Guyana. And next to that, their neighboring country is Venezuela. Okay, so Venezuela has been preparing to invade Guyana for just over a month now, and they want to take over a portion of the country that's called the Essequibo region. So let me show you that here on your screen. So right here is Venezuela. Here's Guyana right here, okay? These red lines indicate the area of Guyana that Venezuela wants to invade and take over. Okay, why do they want to take over that portion? Well, there's these oil deposit zones up here in this region just off the coast of Guyana, and parts of this, if not majority of it, Venezuela has claimed in the past that it was their territory, and they want to take it over because these areas here ExxonMobil operates, and by the way, ExxonMobil is an American oil company, right? And they have facilities here pumping oil off the coast of Guyana. So we have America technically involved here, American companies at least, okay? And they work with Guyana to produce these oils here, these oil fields here. So look, they got 8 billion barrels here of an oil field in this zone, this black line right here. And this green line represents Guyana's exclusive economic zone. So the reason why Venezuela wants to invade and take over this region is because that would give them control of this oil here. And why do they want the oil? Well, obviously, every country they're going to want some sort of commodity that's going to help improve the quality of their country. So if they were to take these oil fields over here off the coast of Guyana, it would help, majorly enrich their country, and it would make them one of the leading superpowers in terms of oil output. Okay, so they want to take this region to enrich their country, obviously. So along the border of Guyana here, Venezuela has been massing troops and preparing to invade, but luckily they were able to, both countries were able to, diplomatically discuss this and figure out a peaceful solution to this. But right now, what's going on is the U.S. is planning to increase their output of oil supplies over here, or oil output, I should say. And they're going to be pumping more oil in this zone, okay, than they were before. And I'm going to be showing you that in here in just a minute. So it's creating more tensions along the border. And there's a very big possibility we could see Venezuela invading Guyana here pretty soon, or Guyana. Okay, so I'm going to show you an article here in just a second. But before we do that, I want to show you this. This is a post here on the South American Defense News page. Okay, and this is a post of talking about Guyana here for a minute. So it says an American delegation comprised of National Security Agency, the NSA, and National Security Council, the NSC, advisors, as well as the U.S. ambassador met with President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. So his name is Irfan Ali. That's the president of Guyana. All right, so they met with him to discuss regional stability and security. Okay, so there's several things that are going on here. I'm going to be showing you an article here right now as well. So let's go into this article and start talking about what's going on over here. So the U.S. right now is increasing its urgent military aid to Guyana as neighboring Venezuela threats linger. So I know I just talked to you about diplomatic solutions. They were discussing and trying to figure this dispute out peacefully. Well, it's starting to get to the point where it's not so peaceful anymore, just because of America announcing, well, ExxonMobil, I should say, announcing that they're going to be increasing their output of and production of oil. Okay, so that's going to make Venezuela more likely to want to invade because they want to take over that oil. They don't want, Guyana getting rich off of this. They want to get rich off of it. So it's going to create more tensions here. So let's go over this. U.S. government is increasing its urgent military assistance to Guyana, officials said Monday, as neighboring Venezuela threatens to seize a large part of the country's territory it has long claimed. The U.S. is pledging to help Guyana buy new aircraft, helicopters, a fleet of military drones, and for the first time, radar technology. The details were not immediately clear, and Guyanese officials declined to say how much they expect to pay. Confirmation of the plan came a day after the U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor John Feiner and Western Hemisphere Senior Director Juan Gonzalez met with authorities in Guyana about improving defense capabilities. Their visit was the latest engagement by top defense and administration officials, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken, on improving Guyana's ability to defend itself from external threats. So, there's a very big possibility that Venezuela may invade Guyana here at some point in the near future, okay? Because they're going to want to go after this oil. They don't want Guyana to get rich off of this and they make all the money, and Venezuela sits by and gets nothing. So let's talk about troop numbers here for a minute too. So Guyana has roughly about 5,000 active troops in their country, and they've got about 800,000 people that live inside of Guyana, even in the Essequibo, disputed area that wants to be taken over by Venezuela. Okay, so they've got about 5,000 troops for 800,000 people that live there. And then in Venezuela, they've got, as far as I know, as of like 2018, at least 123,000 active troops. So well over 100,000 active troops they have available. And Guyana has a very small military, okay, very, very small, 5,000 strong. Okay, so if Venezuela were to invade, they would probably get crushed, okay, just because they don't have a lot of troops to begin with, and Guyana's territory is pretty large, so they'd be very spread thin, okay, so it'd be a very difficult fight for them. But they are getting help from the U.S. right now. They're getting a lot, as you could see there in that article. They're getting helicopters, lots of military equipment, and radar technology to help defend their country and prevent this attack. Okay? So, are we going to see an invasion? We'll have to see. But here's a little bit of the reason why as well that they're going to be attacking. We're going to go into this a little bit more in detail. That Venezuela may attack. So ExxonMobil to explore for oil and gas in offshore area under dispute by Guyana and Venezuela. So ExxonMobil plans to explore for oil and gas in a disputed area off South America's coast where the Venezuelan military had previously expelled 2 U.S. oil companies. The move could escalate tensions between Venezuela and neighboring Guyana, which awarded the exploitation license. Okay, so just remember, too, that Venezuela is technically an enemy to America, okay? They side with Russia and, all the Axis countries. I would say the Axis countries. So they're not happy with America being there to begin with. But now that they're working with Guyana, this may, push the Venezuelan military to want to invade and take over that region. So Guyana considers the area part of its Essequibo region, but Venezuela has long claimed it as its own, holding a referendum in December in which voters supported to push to annex it. So they did hold a referendum to decide whether to annex the area. Robert Persaud, Guyana's foreign secretary, told the Associated Press on Wednesday that ExxonMobil has every right to work in that region because it is within established Guyana waters in a fully demarcated area. The oil giant said Tuesday that it expects to drill 2 exploratory wells north and west of its prolific Stabroek block, where 3 oil fields are producing close to 650 barrels of oil a day. That's a lot of oil every single day. Excuse me, 650,000, not 650 if I said that. So, yeah, they're pumping out a lot of oil, and they're going to be increasing it to where they're going to be taking more and more and more. So this is only going to influence Venezuela to want to more likely invade and attack and prevent this from happening. So the president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Routledge, told reporters that the concessions were granted by Guyana and that the company is committed to its operations despite the country's ongoing tensions with Venezuela. And he said, we are not going anywhere. So they're going to continue to explore, pump more oil, and it's only going to make things worse in this region. So since we talk a lot about war on this channel, like let me just discuss this for a minute. Look at all these wars that are starting to break out all over the world. Okay, we had Russia and Ukraine first. Then we had what's going on in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas. Okay, Israel and Hezbollah. Now the U.S. against all these other militias and the Houthis and Islamic resistance in Iraq and Syria and all these groups, right? Now look at what we've got going on over here. And what's going to happen? How is the U.S. going to respond to this if Venezuela invades and then goes after these oil facilities off the coast of Guyana? Like, what is the U.S. going to do? Because technically we just have oil there, right? But are they going to protect that? Because in the past, what have we seen like in Iraq? Whenever we went to war with Iraq and Afghanistan, why were we there? Well, mostly because of oil, right? We get a lot of our oil from the Middle East. So if this is a large portion of the oil that comes into the United States, is the U.S. going to get involved in what's going on here? We're going to have to see. The latest push by ExxonMobil comes as Guyana and Venezuela prepare to meet for a second time to try and defuse the dispute over the Essequibo region. Following mediation talks in December, both sides agreed not to threaten or use force against each other, but failed to reach a resolution. Meanwhile, the U.S. government is increasing its military aid to Guyana and has promised to help buy new aircraft, helicopters, a fleet of military drones, and for the first time, radar technology. Essequibo is a mineral-rich territory that accounts for 2/3 of Guyana and lies near big offshore oil deposits. Military confrontation with Venezuela appears unlikely for now, but several countries have echoed Guyana's concerns over an annexation by its neighbors to the west. So, yeah, very possible Venezuela could move in to attack Guyana. Okay, it's very, very possible. So will we see that happen? I'm not sure. Time will tell. Time will tell if they're going to attack here. But yeah, Venezuela wants to take over this region here. So apparently it is very mineral rich as well in this area. So it would make Venezuela extremely rich, okay? Much richer than they are now. And don't they have a lot of economic issues? Yeah, they do. So they have a lot of motive here to use to attack Guyana and take it over. They have a lot to gain, basically. So will they attack them? We'll have to wait and see. But they want to take control of all this oil up here as well. And again, it's very dangerous what could happen here because we've got American oil companies like ExxonMobil operating over here. So we'll have to see what happens here. But things are tensioning up down here. And it's like it said in that article there that the U.S. is sending urgent military aid to Guyana to prepare to defend from this attack from Venezuela. So we'll have to see what happens there. But as of now, that's going to be it that I have for this story. I'm going to keep an eye on this because I've been reporting on this at least once or twice in the past month or so. And, looks like we've got more activity going on down here. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. And if there's any kind of an invasion or something, I will report on this immediately. And expect things to get really bad down here if there is some sort of invasion, because there's very big possibility America could get involved here just because of that oil. All right, so hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video. Hit the like button. And if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you as soon as a new video is live. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again for tuning in. Everybody take care. God bless. And we'll see you later.